come from after street fights, they bring a tech. Hey, King J, what we tell him? Back on.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Another Soul Calibur video with Party Wolf. Thank you very much for the collaboration. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. This is awesome.
Thank you, man. So we're gonna go over the tier list now. This is for people, again, like I said, I really want a lot more people to be playing different fighting games, and Soul Calibur is definitely a game that I want people to play. So again, like I said, thank you very much for your time. We got the tier list. This is your tier list: top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20, and others. Now, I really want to know, like, you know, what makes these characters top 5, what makes these characters top 10, top 15, and top 20. So I'm gonna let you take it away. This is your show now. You tell me why these characters are top 5, top 10, top 15, and 20.
For sure. I think a discretion though, if I were to like order this like S, A, B, like a lot of these characters would all just be thrown in like the same tier. The tiers in this game are like very tight knit, but in my personal opinion, I thought it would be way more boring to do it that way. I think this is a lot more interesting and more ways for me to be wrong. But it's still fun to like share my thoughts by doing it in this format.
Okay.
So yeah, top 5. So at the top, I have Nightmare. So the thing that makes Nightmare so good, he's got pretty much everything you want besides like the best pokes in the game. So what I mean by that is he has super high damage, he has super high guard damage, he has great range, he has awesome disrespect tools with his armor buttons, he has great meter usage, he has like one of the best soul attacks in the game, and like it's really easy for him to get his damage started just because of how much range and how good his frames are in this game. And his grab rate is also like very impressive, so like he has no trouble mixing people up, so he can do it all, besides have like extremely fast pokes, because he doesn't have like your traditional poking style.
Okay. And Cervantes?
So Cervantes, he's like, if you want like a super basic character, like this is the character for you. He doesn't do anything crazy as far as mix-ups go, but if you get your opponent to whiff or like duck into something silly, because he does have like strong grab game and like safe pokes for overall. If you start slipping on him, he's just gonna do way too much damage on you, because like Nightmare, his damage output is just insane. And his meter usage is also like phenomenal. Like he has a really good soul charge, really good C. So there's not really a lot of bad things going on with this character.
Okay. And Yoshimitsu?
So Yoshimitsu, he's gonna be one of those characters where even if you have like the best defense ever, there's no way you're gonna be able to defend against it, just because of how good his frames are and how good his mix-ups are. And then the other thing is when he's in soul charge, a lot of his like mix-up options have like string extensions, so even if you're guessing correctly on block, sometimes you still get mixed up additionally on block, so it can be a very frustrating character to deal with. And because he's way faster than say Nightmare and Cervantes, his counter game is just a lot better too. So if you're trying to disrespect him, you'll have to worry about frames.
Alright, and then we've got Amy and Tyra. What do you think about the two?
So Amy, her mechanic's really easy to get started with, like the roses, the red rose specifically. On top of her having the best parry game, I think, overall in the game, just because she has an all mid parry, an all high parry, and all low parry, and she has very easy pokes to use, on top of having an unseeable knockdown low. So it's really hard to not get mixed up against her, and it's really hard to press against her between like her amazing pokes and parries. So it's just, she has it all. The only thing she's really lacking is like the range of say like Nightmare or Cervantes.
Okay, cool. And Tyra?
And then for Tyra, the thing about Tyra is kind of like Amy. She has like amazing pokes, but she does kind of miss that crazy mix-up game. But I think the thing that puts her so high is that a lot of her pokes are very consistent. Like she has a full crouch slow, for example, that is completely unsteppable and barely punishable on block. So like she has very easy ways to establish her game plan. And also when she gets the gloomy side, her damage output looks just as crazy as say like Nightmare or Cervantes.
Okay, cool. And then we got this top 10. So we got Astroth, Raphael, we got as well. I thought Aswell was pretty much top in season 1, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you are way too right.
Yeah.
Way too right.
He was hella cheap in season 1. And then we got like, just talk me through this top 10. We don't have to go through each one of them, but just talk me through like just roughly like what's the decision with Astroth being top 10 as well?
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a controversial pick. I think a lot of people would put him a little bit lower, but to me, the thing that makes Astaroth so scary is before in like season 1, you had so many ways to get out of his pressure, and his damage output was harder to get. So like, for example, one of the recent changes in season 2 was if you like reverse sledge or you guard impact one of his command grabs, he will always have time to block your follow-up from the reverse sledge and the guard impact. So like, even if you wiggle your way out of his mix-ups, you're truly not out of the mix-up unless you're manually ducking. Which can be very, very hard to deal with. And his soul charge is honestly one of the best soul charges in the game. And his C's can be, it's not the best, but it's the best at what it does, meaning that's he's the only super in the game that's a command grab super, where if you see it happen on the screen and you're blocking, it just hits you for like 90 damage, which is like over a third of your life. So his damage output's just insane, and like it's honestly not the craziest. It's not unreasonable to get that damage. Yeah. But it can be unreasonable to get out of that pressure at times.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It makes sense. You don't want to be next to Astroth when he's got bar.
Yeah.
So the other characters, they're pretty much every character that I see in here, they seem like fast hitting characters. Raphael, as well. Like these characters, they seem like fast hitting characters. So is that reason why they're kind of in this tier?
Yeah, so I think for the Raphael, he has so many ways to keep his pressure going, as well as ways to alleviate it, which is like probably the reason why he's top 10 for me. And then for Setsuka, the thing about Setsuka is she has her own offense, but on top of that, her counter game is so strong, which it kind of gets lost in online play a little bit. So I understand why people don't think she's that good, but offline she's just a beast. Like there's so many ways to just get shut down by your counter hits. And for Cassandra, this could also be a controversial pick. I've been called a Cassandra overrater, but I also play the character, so I feel like I have room to talk about it. Yeah. To me, it's like so well-rounded, and she has the fact that she can heal her own guard gauge in itself. It's like illogical for characters that do a lot of guard damage and get rewarded for it. So it can shut down a portion of the game that normally is considered like top tier to have. Another having like great punishes, great pressure. In addition to that. Okay,
so that's top 5 and top 10 covered. Top 15.
No, Aswell's really. So Aswell's, he just has axe mix-ups. That's all you need to know. That's top 10.
All right, that's top 10 covered. All right, so we got top 15, and this one's looking a bit more interesting now as well, because Siegfried I thought was pretty. He was okay before, but he seems like would you say he was good in season 1, or he was always kind of in the mid range?
You know what? I say when the game came out, he was in the mid range, and then he got like super buffed, and now he's back in the mid range again. The thing about Siegfried that makes him good is he has like a very consistent comeback mechanic with the Dark Legacy. So it doesn't really matter who you're fighting. If he's in Dark Legacy and he starts getting the mix-ups going, it really doesn't matter who you are. You're just gonna lose control of the match at some points. And if you try to close out the rounds, it'll always be tricky because of the fact that he has the Dark Legacy bubble to look out for. And that's kind of why he's in top 15. He does have like really good zoning tools, but his backdash can be kind of poor, so the zoning tools can sometimes not look as top tier as they are. But yeah, I would say that's why he's in like the mid-range top 15 for me.
Okay, and then we got briefly just go through these characters, because like even Zasalamel, I thought Zasalamel, because he kind of drags you in and he's got a lot of good tools. I thought it would be a tad bit more higher, but you place him in top 15. Is there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can talk about Zasalamel first. So Zasalamel, he's kind of lacking really scary mix-ups. So like a lot of characters have like very hard to deal with lows and like that are above him. But his are a bit more less scary. Like he has like the 1B poke with curses, but that's really situational because you have to stack the curses and then you have to land the linear low. But if you play in a way that really focuses on trying to whip punish or like move around, this character, I mean, he's just gonna shut that down completely. You have to stand still against this character, and he has really high guard damage on top of that. So I mean, he's got his cheap stuff, but I think as far as like running you over, he kind of has to spend meter to do that.
Okay, then we've got Hilda that was absolutely broken in Soul Calibur 4.
Yep. The demon from the past.
Yep. So what's her issue then? Like, what does she have? What, like, usually in this mid-range, the characters are decent, but they just don't have that robbery factor. So is it something like that? She's just not how she was before?
She doesn't have that robbery factor. Like, she's perfect. She's a perfect character. She just doesn't have the robbery factor.
Okay.
But that's really all there is to it. She has great pokes, so like, and great mids. So there's nothing really wrong with her. She just doesn't have the robbery.
So I would imagine that's the same with Sung Mina, and is that Xianghua?
No, Sung Mina is definitely robs you,
Okay.
but the difference is she because she has like unseeable mix-ups and like really great range, she can definitely steal games, but the issue, and her Ria game is nasty too. But the thing that she has issues with is her like basic pokes are really bad. Like, for example, she has a 2A, which is like a generic crouch jab. Most characters have a +6 crouch jab. Hers is only +2. So like that's an example of like a flaw with the character. And then she doesn't have like a basic high poke string or a basic mid poke string. She does have a basic mid poke string, but it's mid high, so you can just duck under the second hit and then launch her. So it's hard to like condition people up close with like fast moves when you're using this character.
Okay, cool. So that's top 15 covered.
And all of it's in the top 15 too for me because of she does have the robbery factor, but she's not balanced in terms of range. She's very short range, so that keeps her away.
Okay, cool. Well, what character is that? Sorry, I can't even see. Is that that's not? Is that Xianghua? No, Talim. All right, I got it mixed up. My bad. All right.
No, you're cool.
All right, so we're getting into top 20. So if we just sum it up in one sentence, what are they lacking? Because this is top 20 now. So
sure.
Just one sentence. What are they lacking? What's Gro lacking? Is Gro?
Gro.
Yeah. What's he lacking?
He has bad tech crouches. His tech crouch game sucks.
Whoa.
So Mitsurugi, he's lacking strong horizontals. His horizontal game is pretty weak. Keelik, I'd say Keelik also lacks the raw. Well, I guess he lets use in soul charge, but his meter usage overall is kind of poor. Just because the soul charge, you lose life force, and the regular C is bad.
Okay.
And then Ivy, I think, lacks really good frames up close, and her meter usage isn't that good too. And then Xianghua, I think she has poor range overall. However, she is really cheap at closing out rounds. I think Xianghua is a character that turns into like a top 5 character when you have when she's just a C away from killing you. That character is so dumb, just because it's 12 frames.
Okay, cool. And then we've got others now. Same thing. It's just a one sentence with the characters. I'm gonna ask questions though, because I'm just gonna test what you're saying. So, in others, take it away.
So Sophitia, she's very balanced, but the issue is her lows are really bad.
Okay.
Valdo. So this character is very strange, but he does have poor meter usage.
What do you mean by poor meter usage? Like, what's wrong with his meter?
The critical edge is pretty slow, and you can launch punish it on block, and the soul charge also doesn't have very scary mix-ups. Like, a lot of characters get like dumb 50-50s. He doesn't really get 50-50s.
Okay. And then we got Maxi.
He's too stance focused, and the stances are okay at best.
Man. And then we got Geralt.
Geralt's really good, but I think he kind of lacks the comeback factor, and I don't think his mix-ups are as far as like low pokes are very like it's just I don't know how to describe it. He's really good. It's just he's so boring that I think it's like in my head I want to put him lower just because he's so boring. He can only do so many things, right? You see the same thing every single time. Like you can't get creative with him. That's why he's in others. You can't get creative with him, and he doesn't rob you, dude. So I think that's good enough.
Oh my god! All right, cool. And then right, 2B.
I think I think her, she might have better, more straightforward stance than Maxi, but I think she also suffers from being too stance focused and with a stance that's can present risk if the opponent's good.
Okay. Taki is the one that I'm surprised about. I haven't followed too much on what Taki's like in this game, but usually before I thought she was quite decent. Now she's at this range. Like, why is she in the others?
Mainly because you can definitely keep her out, and she does have a lot of string gaps. She's like she's very good if you aren't aware of her highs as much as you should be. And her C is like, it's like one of those parry Cs that's like not safe, so it can be not as good as some of the other characters.
Okay, cool. And then we got Hamaru from Samurai Showdown. Now, Samurai Showdown, Samurai Spirits, whatever way you want to call it. Again, this is a character that I thought, because he's a guest character, I thought it would be somewhere in the mid, but you placed him kind of like, obviously it's not in the numbers, but it basically looks like rock bottom. So, do you see this character in tournament at all or anything like that?
I've seen people pick him. I haven't seen anybody do well with him. I think the issue with this character is he has the best backdash in the game, but just because of the principle that his mix-ups he doesn't really have plus on hit lows that are notable, and he's just lacking a lot of plus frames on hit overall, and his standard pokes, like his AABB, they're slower than average. It's not standardized to be the same speed as other characters, so I think it's just his frame data holds him back a lot.
Okay, cool. And then we got Huang in question mark. Now, is this because he's basically like quite new character? Well, he's not really a new character now, but is it because, or he's a newish to the season, or is it just because you just don't know where to put him?
A bit of everything, really. He's newish. I don't know how good he is because everybody says different things that are Huang players, and then I think just because, like, I don't think anyone's truly, unlocks like the full Huang. I'm still waiting for the real Huang to appear. You know what I mean? Like you need a PhD to play him. You need to understand all these different things in order to be successful with him. So it's like, if you need to understand like a million things to be successful with him, I don't know if that means he's bad, or if it means that once you do know all that stuff, he's really good. So it's hard to place him, I think.